The space of philanthropy and development is a system where capital flows not only economically and commercially, but also societally. Engaging the wealth holder in the conversation of philanthropy on surface seems to be a financial conversation, but actually what makes it most sticky is at an engagement level where they get more invested, more committed, more open to understanding societal issues. That is the switch that we're looking for. Because for the longest time, we've been operating in silos, right? People go into jobs, they put on a hat that says, this is my job, this is my identity, they just focus on that. And they say other things like taking care of the streets and taking care of uh, elderly and other social issues, that's government, that's charity. It's been a segmented mindset. I think greater awareness and greater mindset shifts is moving us in the direction of an integrated mindset. And they will see themselves as active citizens, active players in society. So money for them is just one resource they bring to the table. They will bring their networks, they will bring their non-financial skills, which actually is hugely valuable if they are professionals. They can bring that directly into solving on-the-ground issues. And through engagement and through sort of feeling like they are playing a part, that in fact is the critical ingredient that, if applied at scale across a society, is hugely powerful because then you've got the most resilient kind of elements in society. AVPN as a network is all about mobilizing capital towards impact. And we engage with largest foundations and families in the world in terms of this objective. When we talk about full-time philanthropy advisors as team members within the bank, we actually couldn't count more than 10 of them across all the private banks in Singapore. Yeah. And when you put that number in conjunction with private bankers or relationship managers, we counted upwards of 5,000 relationship managers. When we look at the level of giving, say in Singapore itself, you could add up sources from giving.sg, which is about 100 mil Sing, and then Soristic also did a report around the giving from large foundations in Singapore. So Lee Foundation is one example, Lian is another. And within the report, they also characterize another 100 mil Sing dollars, which, you say 100 and 100, and maybe there's another 100, which is unaccounted for, 300 mil in total. That to us would be the current state. And then we did our own calculations as to what is the potential. And we did our calculations based on what is the amount of assets in Singapore. So we applied a modest annual rate of return to say, with these assets, how much income are they generating? And from the income, if folks were to donate a modest percentage, say 1% of that income, what could it look like? That number for us was actually in the billions. Yeah. So there is, in our mind, that huge delta between the 300 mil and the billions, a large pool of untapped potential. So we are talking about Singapore domiciled wealth, which comes from the neighborhood and beyond. So that is the giving and the flows that we are specifically looking into, because it also fits into AVPN's unique proposition, which is we are an Asia-wide network. We've got more than 600 members across the region. Our teams are physically located in more than 18 markets on the ground. So we are working with the philanthropists and the social investors on the ground in all these markets. And that's what we are looking to tap, the giving interest that emanates from here to all those destinations. We need to tap into that pool of 5,000 who are day in, day out speaking to their clients on their financial management and their well-being. We want to include the philanthropy conversation into that. So how do we make that part of our leveraged strategy? That's the key. Yeah. So the bankers, these private banking teams, they carve it out by territories and by markets, but they are based here. Yeah. And that is the interface between us and these teams. They then interface with their clients. If we can shift the thinking, we can make them feel equipped to engage clients, then they will do more of it. Given MAS and Singapore government's sort of trajectory and where the private banks were keen to work with us, we said, hey, it's really not about just putting out a database of charities. Yeah, because we don't want a situation where we're expecting if we build it, they will come because all these things are already there. All these philanthropy networks, all the capabilities are represented in the ecosystem in Singapore by way of NDPC, Community Foundation, Comchairs, philanthropy networks like Asia Philanthropy Circle, WMI, lots of intermediation available. It's it's just that it's not being tapped into, it's not being engaged. We set ourselves a goal to, within 5 years, reach at least a minimal state of 100 mil USD of giving. So by 2030, it should be at that level of donation flows, if not higher. The first step is ascertaining the stage of where the client is in relation to philanthropy. And here we believe they are best positioned to engage clients who are at the initial stages. Then it is a relatively nascent and basic conversation. It's not about setting up a foundation and hiring teams and developing complex strategies, right? All that actually is capability that exists in Singapore already. So the banker can point them in that direction and say, please go talk to these other organizations if you are keen to do that. Here we are saying they have clients are clearly with wealth. How do we make it a very human, values-based discussion around what might you truly care about? And how would you like to involve your family? How do you want to involve your spouse, your kids, your extended family in that journey?